All right, most on Christ. All right. Make sure everybody up. All right, the YouTube is up. Facebook is up. Most on Christ. All right, all right. All right. Shalom. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua B'Katham to the brothers. All right. Here we go. All right. Shalom. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua B'Katham to the brothers. Shalom. Yahweh Shema Alathan Ba'ashem Yahushua to the sisters. We are the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge. Start at the 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group nor any other Christian organization, all right? So tonight's class, man, get my teaching stick out. Everybody knows I like this teaching stick. If you come to my classes, everybody knows I like this stick, all right? It's probably one of my best investments. No. But, all right. So, tonight's class, man, is the Lashawan Qadash, meaning the holy tongue, all right? In this class, you learn the Hebrew language. We are going to learn what Hebrew is really about, how to speak the Hebrew, how to write the Hebrew, right? How to listen to the Hebrew. This is the class where you learn about the Lashawan Qadash, the holy tongue, the Hebrew language, all right? If you are so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, the Hebrew language is your original tongue. The Hebrew language is the language that we spoke as a nation of people before we've been conquered, raped, and molested and enslaved by Puritans, Jesuits, Portuguese, Spaniards, the English, the Pilgrims, the British, whoever you think it is who our oppressor is, or whoever you know. So like whoever you know who our oppressor is and who rules over us to this day. We spoke Hebrew before they ruled over us. We spoke the Lashawan Qadash before they enslaved us. All right? We won't speak in Spanish. We won't like we won't doing that until we were conquered by the Portuguese and some Spaniards. You understand? Like if you're Mexican, we won't. If you're Mexican, right? You come from the tribe of Isupk. We won't speak in Spanish as Mexicans. We won't speak in Spanish. It wasn't until the Spaniards came and took and raped and molested and enslaved the Aztecs. That's when we started speaking Spanish. We won't speak in Spanish before that. What language did the Mexicans speak? What language did the Aztecs speak before the Spaniards came? Can anybody tell me? I kind of gave y'all the answer, but think about it. These are the type of questions we have to ask. Like people think, oh, why are you teaching the Hebrew language? Why are you teaching the Lashawan Qadash? What's the purpose of teaching the Hebrew? What's the purpose of teaching the Lashawan Qadash? Well, I'm going to tell you the purpose. I'm going to ask you a question first. What language did our people speak before we came to America as slaves? What language did we speak? Huh? So we spoke English when we got here. Huh? Is that what it was? We spoke English when we got here? Anybody? As black people, right? They say we come from Africa, right? They say we come from West Africa, which means, and because we come from West Africa, people think that means that we're West African, meaning we're either Nigerian or we're from Ghana, right? Or we're from Egypt, or we're from Mali, or whatever the case may be, right? We think that we're African or West African, right? Okay, no sweat. Tell me what remnants of a West African language have we kept in America? That's another question we need to ask each other. This is something that we have to ask. What remnants of an African language did we keep while we were in America? Where's the remnants of an African language here? Where is it? From slavery. That's what I'm asking. Where is that remnants of African from Africa, in the African language? Where is the remnants of a West African language in America by the children of slaves? Where's it at? Where's the remnants of it? There's like thousands of different languages in West Africa that's being spoken. And there's different dialects in West Africa that's being spoken. Which one did we speak? Anybody tell me that? Which one did we speak? Here's the problem. No one does their research. No one goes into a book. All they're doing is talking out the side of their mouth. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't really know what it is. They have no idea what's going on in life. There are no remnants of a West African language nor a West African dialect in America by black people, from the slaves, which are black people. There's no remnants of that. There should be something found. Now, can someone look it up and probably find it? Possibly so. That could be possible. But let me tell you, there's more Hebrew found. There's more remnants of the Lashawan Qadash. There's more remnants of the Hebrew language being spoken by the slaves, spoken by the Native Americans, spoken by the Mexicans, spoken by the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans. There's more remnants of the Hebrew language being spoken in America before our oppressors came here. There were Hebrew tablets found in America. Hebrew stone tablets. Paleo, ancient Hebrew stone tablets found in America. Look it up. Look it up. I'm not here to play games with you. I'm not here to spin you. I'm not here to play you. I'm just going to tell you to look it up. We did our research in the Isupk. We pray that you do the same. That's all. We did our research back here. That's why we teaching it. We found our research. We solidified our research to make sure it was correct. There were Hebrew tablets found in America. It's actually in a museum now, I believe, or in some artifact area, right? That you can actually see. You can take pictures of tablets, stone tablets, and our different type of artifacts with ancient Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew, or they call it Pro-Canaanite Hebrew, found in the on these artifacts, on these stone tablets found in America, and it was dug up and found in the United States of America. Can anyone explain that? Can anyone explain why these Hebrew tablets were found in America? Why? I thought we were African. Why so? Like, listen. People thought that when in slavery, when we used to answer the master, right? We would say what? Yes, master. Yes, master. We personally thought that was just a southern slur of a way to say master. No, that was actually Hebrew, but mixed with English. In the Hebrew, it would be masa. It would be masa. But because the A in English is an A, we said massa, meaning you are my burden. When we say yes, massa, we're saying yes to my burden. You are my burden. You burden me. You task me. You give me orders. You put burdens on me. So I'm going to call you massa. But in the Hebrew, it's massa. That's a Hebrew word. Look it up. I'm not making it up. I can actually prove it to you in class. But now, that's just something. It's very important for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to learn this language, to learn our culture, to learn our heritage, to learn the traditions passed down, given to the Israelites, which are so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It's very important. So tonight's class is another important class, man. All right. So last week, also when you check in too as well, Salaki, anyone watching class and checking in the class, make sure you put your name, city, and state, right? So put your name, city, and state. So for instance, for an example, my name, Officer of 1,000, Yerushalayim. That would be my name, right? Yerushalayim would be my name, right? So name, Yerushalayim. city, Norfolk, right? Norfolk or Norfolk, whatever it may be. Salaki. All right. And then state, Virginia. So Yerushalayim, Norfolk, Virginia. Yerushalayim, Norfolk, Virginia. So when you sign in and check in, make sure you put your name, city, and state, which is Norfolk, Virginia. Yerushalayim, Norfolk, Virginia, as an example. All right. Do not forget to sign in. Do not forget to check in. All right. Do not forget to sign in. Do not forget to check in. So, tonight's class, we're going to focus on possessive pronouns. We're going to focus on possessive pronouns, all right? That's what we're going to focus on. So now, when it comes down to possessive pronouns, Salaki. When it comes to possessive pronouns, last week we focused on object pronouns. The week before that, we focused on subject pronouns. Now the reason why we're going over these pronouns, right? The reason why we're going over subject pronouns, the reason why we're going over object pronouns, the reason why we're going over possessive pronouns is very, very important when it comes to sentence structure. It's very important when it comes to being grammatically correct and learning how to write and speak the Lashawan Qadash grammatically correct, or even to a sense of correctness. All right. It's very important to learn subject pronouns, object pronouns, and possessive pronouns. These are key parts and key variables of making a sentence. Almost every sentence has a subject pronoun, an object pronoun, or a possessive pronoun. Especially when you're talking to someone and you're trying to explain where something is, or what you may have been doing that day, or where you were going, and etc., etc. Subject pronouns, object pronouns, and possessive pronouns play a very key role and a very key part when it comes to structuring sentences in the Hebrew. Now, of course, previously in classes, we were learning how to speak in the present tense. All right, we were learning conjugations. So there's three types of conjugations in the Hebrew. All right. Well, there are three main conjugations in the Lashawan Qadash in the Hebrew language. You have the conjugation of the present tense. You have the conjugation. You have the conjugation of the future tense. And you also have the conjugation of the past tense. These are your main three conjugations in the Hebrew language. Your present tense, your future tense, and your past tense. All right, those are your main three. Those are your main three conjugations. Now, Salakia. Now here we go. I want to say maybe like 3 or 4 classes ago, we were focusing on the present tense. We were focused on the conjugation of the present tense. Now, the present tense, the conjugation for the present tense is very simple. It's very easy. It's really one of the first things you learn how to conjugate, right? Now, let me explain conjugations. If anyone doesn't know what a conjugation is, a conjugation is the changing of a verb, right? So there's, in some languages, you have a verb. Then there's a way to conjugate that verb to make it, to conjugate that verb in a certain tense. All right? Almost every language has conjugations. There's a way to conjugate any verb in most languages in the present tense, the past tense, or the future tense. So conjugation is really the changing of a verb or the changing of a word. Like for instance, in English, we have conjugations in English. Like for instance, walk is the verb, right? Walk, to walk is a verb. Walk, like as in you're walking, etc. You're walking, right? That's a verb in the English language. Now, there's a way to conjugate that verb. Walk is the verb, but walking is the present tense conjugation of walk, right? You add that ing. That's the rule to the present tense when it comes to the conjugation in the English language. This is an example. So I wouldn't say I'm walk to the store, right? You don't want to say that. Like, I'm walk to the store. You have to conjugate that verb into the present tense. I'm walking to the store. That's you conjugating the verb walk to in the present tense to let people know that I'm presently walking, right? That this is what I'm doing. This is the action that I'm doing, because a verb is an action, right? All right. So now that's just one example. Now, can you use the word walk in the present tense without conjugating it? Yes, you can. But that varies from sentence to sentence. In most cases, you would conjugate it to walking, right? In most cases, in the past tense, you would say I walked with an ed. That's a conjugation to the verb walk. Adding an ed at the end of that word, that's a conjugation to that verb. So I walked. Ed at the end of the word walk, right? That's a conjugation to that verb walk. I walked to the store, meaning I already did it. It's a past tense, right? It's in the past, right? I did it already. So I walked to the store. That's a conjugation. Or I would say I will walk to the store. That's okay. That sentence itself would be a conjugation of the verb walk, but in the future tense. To put will in the front of the word walk is you really conjugating that verb in the English language, in a way. Now, the reason why I say that is because in the Hebrew, we don't have a word will, as in like future tense will. We have a certain way that we conjugate that verb to let you know that this is something that will happen later on. It's a conjugation in the future tense. All right? It's a conjugation in the future tense. All right? So it's very important. Right now, let's backtrack a little. Or let's go back to the possessive pronouns. All right? The reason why we need to learn possessive pronouns. Now, the class is labeled subject pronouns, object pronouns, and possessive pronouns. Previous classes, we already went over subject pronouns. Last week's class, we finished up the object pronouns. Now, in this class, we're going to be doing the possessive pronouns. Now, well, Officer Lashawan, why are we learning possessive pronouns? Once again, before we move on to sentence structure, right? Because we already focused on basic sentence structure, learning the conjugations of the present tense, and building sentences using the present tense. You may not believe it, but that is basic sentence structure, and here's why. Because the future and past tense is a little more informational. It's a little more advanced when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? So you might want to actually, for the future tense and the past tense, you may want to get your notebooks out and take a lot of notes, because there's different ways to conjugate those verbs. Now, the reason why we're doing subject pronouns, object pronouns, possessive pronouns, because it plays a very important and key role in sentence structure. You do not want to go further into advanced sentence structuring without knowing the basics and having a solid foundation in what a sentence entails when you're structuring that sentence. So with that being said, you want to have subject pronouns, you want to have object pronouns, and you want to have possessive pronouns under your belt to know what they look like, how to say it, how to pronounce it, etc., etc. All right, so there's no confusion. The Bible says the Lord is not the author of confusion. So with that being said, we're going to learn about possessive pronouns and have a good solid foundation of learning how to use possessive pronouns. Now, let me get that word on the board. All right. All right, possessive pronouns. All right, make sure you guys check in. All right. Anybody online and watching class, do not forget to check in and sign in. You do not want to forget that. All right, so on the board, if you guys can see, let me see, making sure you guys can see the board properly. All right, so what you guys see on the board, it literally says possessive pronouns. All right, possessive pronouns. Now, this is what we're going to be doing today is possessive pronouns. We will be focusing on possessive pronouns. Now, allow me to add, does anybody know, can anybody online tell me what a possessive pronoun is? Does anybody have an idea of what a possessive pronoun is? You can type it in and answer it in the live chat if you would like to. Does anybody know what a possessive pronoun is? What is a possessive pronoun? All right, a possessive pronoun. There are different types of pronouns. You have subject pronouns, object pronouns, possessive pronouns. There are different types of pronouns. Let's not forget that. There are different types of pronouns. Salaki. Anybody want to give it a shot? All right, no sweat. So now, okay, so a possessive pronoun. If you guys don't know what a possessive pronoun is, I'll give it to you for time's sake. A possessive pronoun is a pronoun that shows ownership to something. Meaning like you own that. That is yours. Or that is his. Or that is hers. Right? Or that's ours. And etc. etc. A possessive pronoun shows ownership. A possessive pronoun shows something belongs to you. Right? That is yours. It's a possession. When you have a possession or you possess something, that means it's yours and no one else's. That's why when the Lord says in the Bible, when you get a wife, right? That's why the Lord says when you get a wife, she becomes your possession, meaning it's yours. As a man, that is your woman. That's no one else's woman. That's it. That's why the Lord uses certain words purposely to give us understanding. So like the Lord doesn't use words for no reason at all. Like the word possession, meaning that's ours. Some sisters be like, I'm no man's property. Listen, the Lord don't give a damn what you think that you are. Salaki, if I may add. The Lord does not care as a sister that you believe that you're no man's property. He doesn't give a damn. He's just going to let you know in the scriptures, if you are a wife, you are someone's possession. Right? And that's just what it is. And it's a very beautiful thing for a woman to be a man's possession. Most men take care of their possessions of something that belongs to them. When men have cars, that's their possession, that's their property. They take care of it. Right? If you have a quote unquote a real man on your hands, or you have a good man on your hands, and you actually have an actual man on your hands, you would want to be his possession because he's going to make sure you're all right. He's going to take care of you. He's going to groom you. I grew up in Jersey, right? A sidebar. I grew up in Jersey, right? I was raised with my father and my grandfather. My grandfather was a old school manly man. All right. If you don't use he was an old school manly man. So he took care. He had a house. He took care of his house because that was his property. That was his, he owned that. That was his. He would make me cut the grass once a week. If the grass got too high, he'd be like, "Hey, yo, boy, go in the shed, get the lawnmower, right? Go ahead and take this plant, transplant it here, and put it there, right? Because that was his property, that was his possession, and he groomed it and he took care of it. That's what men do. So if you actually have a man on your hands, you want to be their possession because they're going to take care of you. They're going to groom you. They want to make sure you're right. They're going to make sure you're always correct. They're going to be there for you no matter what. That's what a man will do. So you want to be a man's possession. That's just on the sidebar. You don't want to be a man's whore though. You don't want that because he's not going to care about you. He's just going to throw you away. You don't want to be a man's side piece or some side chick, right? You don't want to be that. You don't want to settle for that. Why? Because you're just going to be used and abused and passed off to the next brother's side piece and side chick or some whore. That's just to throw some game at you. But that's that. That's it. That's all. I'm not saying, But back to that. That's what a possessive pronoun is. It shows ownership. It shows that you own something. It shows that that's yours. Your is a possessive pronoun, right? Now, can anybody tell me what a noun is? Anybody online paying attention to class, can anybody tell me what a noun is? Right? Because possessive pronouns, right, in the Lashawan Qadash, subjects like it, possessive pronouns in the Hebrew, possessive pronouns in the Lashawan Qadash, they are attached to a noun. They are directly correlated to a noun. Can anybody give me the direct definition of a noun? Most people should know this, but I'm going to give you guys time, right, to answer me, right, so we all can know what a noun is. So anyone looking in the live chat can learn from us and learn from each other what a noun is. We may want to know what a noun is because we're going to be using nouns today in order to explain possessive pronouns, right? Because remember, subject pronouns is a subject pronoun, right? If anybody comes to class, a subject pronoun, right, is something to explain what the sentence is going to be about, right? Like the subject is going to be about me. So I would use the subject pronoun I or I am. The subject pronoun could be you because the sentence is going to be about you, right? Everybody understands that? The subject pronoun could be he. Because the subject pronoun is going to be about he, whoever he is. Mike is a he. Brown is a he. Deshaun is a he. right? LeBron is a he. Kobe is a he, right? So with that being said, if you're talking about Kobe or LeBron or Michael Jordan or whatever the case may be, Usher, Cisco, R. Kelly, whoever the hell you're talking about, whoever is a man, right, would get the subject pronoun he, right? So if you're talking about he, that's the sentence about whoever is the he. Or she, right? She is a subject pronoun, right? So that sentence, she, whoever she is, Beyonce, Sierra, TLC, Waterfalls, whatever the hell she is, right? That's what the sentence is about. That's who the sentence is about. So the subject pronoun she would be used. A subject pronoun, the gist of a subject pronoun is to let you know who and what the sentence is really going to be about. Okay? Alright? And later on, you'll understand even further, you'll understand that further. Alright? When it comes to advanced sentence structuring. Alright? We already went over basic sentence structuring, but we're going to slowly lead into advanced sentence structuring. So this is going to build a foundation. Alright? Okay, so this is what a noun is. Okay? A noun is either a person, place, or thing. That's literally the definition of noun. A noun is a person, place, or thing. A noun is a person, place, or thing. Alright? This is why we need to know the definition of noun. Because a noun can be a person. Right? A noun can be a person. Right? A noun can be a place. And a noun can be a thing. Meaning whatever the hell it may be, there's no specific thing a noun is. It can be a thing. Like a light can be a noun. A switch can be a noun. A cabinet can be a noun. A desk can be a noun. A table can be a noun. A chair can be a noun. A person. Beyonce could be a noun. Sierra could be a noun. Cardi B could be a noun. Nicki Minaj could be a noun. What else do people listen today? City Girls could be a noun. Whatever the hell. These are nouns, right? These are nouns. Kendrick Lamar, a noun. J. Cole, noun, right? He just dropped a new album, right? J. Cole, noun. Like, these are nouns. A person, place, or thing. Let's give you examples of nouns so we know that a person is a noun. Like a place. Jerusalem is a noun, right? Jerusalem, the holy city of Israel, right? Jerusalem. Yerushalayim in the Hebrew. Yerushalayim in the Hebrew. Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim in the Hebrew, right? Jerusalem, right? All right? Right? Jerusalem is a noun. It's a place, right? It's a city, so it's a place. Ayar is city, by the way, in the Lashawan Qadash. So Ayar is city, but which is a noun. City, Ayar, that's a noun. My city, right? Ayar, my city. That's an example. All right, with English and Hebrew put together. Chicago, New York, cities, places, whatever place you can think of in your head. These are examples of nouns. Now, possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns are words used in conjunction with nouns. Possessive pronouns are words that are used in conjunction with nouns. I'll say that one more time. Possessive pronouns are words used in conjunction with nouns. Alright? There's a reason why I have to emphasize that. There's a reason why I have to emphasize it, right? Because object pronouns, you have something called object pronouns. We kind of went the gist over subject pronouns. Alright? You can go back to those classes too. But object pronouns. Object pronouns are words, right? Are words, right? That are used in conjunction with verbs. So an object pronoun are words that are used in conjunction with verbs. An object pronoun are words that are used in conjunction with verbs, but a possessive pronoun are words that are used in conjunction with nouns. There's a difference. So there's a reason why we have to learn object pronouns, and there's a reason why we have to learn possessive pronouns, right? Because these play a very key role and a very key part, not just in basic sentence structuring, but in advanced sentence structuring too. All right? So we'll get to it. If you guys have any questions, you can type your questions in the live chat, all right? If you have any questions, just type it up in that live chat. Let's see. Alright, so if you have any questions, make sure to put it into the live chat. Alright. Alright. Now, if you remember coming to the object pronoun class, all right? If you remember coming to the object pronoun class, all right? When learning possessive pronouns, you will most likely see something very familiar. So when learning possessive pronouns, it's very similar to learning object pronouns. Now, they are different words in the English, all right? But they're the same in the Hebrew, right? So, for instance, an object pronoun would be you, but a possessive pronoun would be your. So a object pronoun is you, but a possessive pronoun is your. So you is a object pronoun, but your is a possessive pronoun, right? Now in the English, they're different words. You and your are not the same words, right? They're different. They're different words, right? Because one is you, one is your. One is an object pronoun, in some cases a subject pronoun, but we're talking about object pronouns. One's an object pronoun, and the other, which is your, is a possessive pronoun. They're two different words, right? But now in the Hebrew, it's not that they're not. Okay, it's not that they're not different words. Because in the Hebrew, they are different words. But in the Hebrew, they're written the same. Right? But this is what we have to understand. The rule in the Hebrew is still a rule in English. But you want to pay very, very close attention to this rule in Hebrew, right? Okay? Object pronouns are used in conjunction with verbs. So you will only see you connected to a verb in Hebrew. That's the only time you'll see it. And the object pronoun you will only be attached to a verb in Hebrew. It won't be attached anywhere else in most cases. Now, in possessive pronouns, a possessive pronoun is used in conjunction with a noun. A noun is definitely a non-verb, meaning it has no action to it. So, for an example, city is a noun. Run is a verb. You would go with run, but your would go with city in Hebrew. It's not interchangeable, right? Now in English, you'll hear the difference, but in Hebrew, you will not hear the difference, right? You and your sounds different in English, but you and your in Hebrew sounds the same. All right, everybody kind of understands that? Let me know. Kan or la'ah. I said yes or no in the Hebrew. Kan or la'ah. I said yes or no in Hebrew. So do you guys understand, kind of? All right, you guys have a gist of where I'm coming from. You and your sounds different in English, but you and your will sound the same in Hebrew. All right. So we want to pay very, very close attention when it comes to possessive pronouns and understanding the rule of possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns, right, in most cases, will be used in conjunction with a noun in Hebrew. It won't really fluctuate like that, all right? It won't. I haven't seen it, all right? I haven't seen it, all right? In conjunction, all right? In conjunction, meaning together, joined together, right? In conjunction, joined together, all right? All right. So what we have on the board now, if anybody can see, let me see if you guys can see. Make sure you guys can see what's written on the board. Perfect. You guys can see what's on the board. All right. You guys can see what's on the board. Let's see. All right, so what you guys see on the board? This is a possessive pronoun. All right, this is a possessive pronoun. My is a possessive pronoun. So in the English, my is a possessive pronoun. So if I wanted to say, if I want to show possession of something, if I want to show you that I possess something, I would say this is my such and such, right? This is my such and such, right? This is my family. This is my chair. This is my cup. This is my light. This is my table, right? This is my hand, right? This is my child. This is my son, right? These are different examples of how you would use my. So my is a possessive pronoun. In the Lashawan Qadash, And in the Hebrew, right, ya is the possessive pronoun for my. So you would say ya instead of my. You would say ya instead of my. So this is how ya would look like in the ancient Hebrew. This is what ya would look like. This is what ya would look like in the modern Hebrew or in the Syrian script. So this is the ancient script and this is the modern script. So this is the ancient script in Hebrew. This is the modern script in Hebrew. And it's pronounced as ya. Ya. Right? Meaning my. So ya. Alright? Ya. Most High in Christ. Khan. So ya would be the possessive pronoun for my. So ya would be a possessive pronoun for my. Alright? Alright? So ya is a possessive pronoun for my. Now, I'm gonna write you guys an example on the board. Alright? So, let's get the one I already had. Alright? So if I wanted to say my child, let's say this is my child, right? If I want you to make a sentence saying this is my child, I would say, I'm going to write it in the English. Okay, so let me explain when I say I'm writing in the English. I'm going to explain what I mean by I'm going to write it in the English. This is Hebrew. This is English. Alright? This is Hebrew. This is English. Does that make sense? This is Hebrew. This is English. This helps us understand the pronunciation or how to pronounce this letter or this letter in the Hebrew. So when I say I'm going to write it in the English, I'm going to write it like this as an example. Alright? But I will also have the Hebrew written there too. Alright? So there's no misunderstanding. Alright? So if I want to say this is my child, I would say, let's see, let's see what happened here. Making sure you guys can still see. Alright, what's on Christ? Alright, so let's write it. I would say the. I can write that just a little neater. The Yalad Ya. Alright? Okay. If anybody can see the board, all right. Anybody can see the board. Most High in Christ. Okay. So this is an example, right, of how you would use a possessive pronoun. A possessive pronoun will always be attached to the actual noun in Hebrew. Alright? So, alright? Here we go. This is child. This is child. This is my. This. Alright. If everybody understands how I read it on the board, a possessive pronoun, right? A possessive pronoun in the Lashawan Qadash or in the Hebrew language will always be attached to a noun. It will always be attached to a noun. Alright? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It will always be attached to a noun. So this is the possessive pronoun, right? This is your ya. You see up here? As an example, this is your ya. This is your ya right here. I outlined it the very same way written right here. This is your my. A possessive pronoun will always go at the end of a word. So a possessive pronoun will always be attached to a noun, and the location that the possessive pronoun will be is at the end of that noun or at the end of that word, right? So a possessive pronoun will always be located and attached to the back or the end of any noun being said in the Hebrew language or being said in the language known as the Lashawan Qadash. Alright, the Lashawan Qadash, alright? The Lashawan Qadash. Alright, so this is your my. This possessive pronoun right here, this is your my. See? My. So this right here, you see this right here? This is a za. Right? Za. It's pronounced za. Z-A-H. Za. Za means this. So if you did not know what za meant, za means this. Za means this. So if you wanted to say this something something, or this something something something, or this blah 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 blah, you would use the word za in the Lashawan Qadash. Za in the Hebrew, meaning this. Yalad. Alright? Yalad. Y-A-L-A-D. A ya, a la, and a da. But the ah is cut off. So it's yalad. 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 Ya, Allah, and a da, meaning yalad, meaning child. Yalad means child. Yalad can also mean boy, meaning a boy child. So Yalad is a boy child, right? So Yalad is a boy child, or just a child, right? Right? Yalad is referred to a boy child. Yalad, a boy child. A child that is a boy. Or Yalad could be boy. So Yalad could either be boy, or Yalad could also be child that is a boy. Alright? Or a child. Right? Now, if you wanted to, I'll get there later. Alright? So Yalad is child. My child. My boy child. Alright? This is literally saying my boy child, but the boy is implied because it's spelled Yalad. It's spelled Yalad, so you know that the child is being referenced to a boy. So the child, if I say, let's say Yerushalayim is saying Zayaladia, Zayaladia, Salakia, Zayaladia. If I'm saying to you guys, hey, Zayaladia, I'm literally telling you this is my child. But because I use the word Yalad, because I use the noun Yalad, right, you know that for sure I'm referring and I'm referencing to a boy child and not a girl child. Alright? Za Yaladia, meaning this is my child. Yaladia. Yaladia. Za Yaladia, meaning this is my child. This is an example of how you would use my as a possessive pronoun. Remember, this is the noun. This is the possessive pronoun. So this is the noun. This is the possessive pronoun. This is the noun. This is a possessive pronoun. In the Hebrew, a possessive pronoun goes at the end, is located at the end of a noun, and it's attached to the noun. In the English, it's not attached to the noun, and it's in front of the noun. You see how it says my child? In Hebrew, it would be this is child my. Does everybody understand that? All right. Everybody understand? Ka or la'a? All right. This is my child. Za Yaladia. Now, for an example, all right, another example. Let's see. I'm gonna erase this ya. Now here we go. Now, this is another example of how you would use the possessive pronoun my in a sentence. What's the girl version of child? Oh, well, here we go. Salakia. I was getting to it. Salakia. Salakia about that Aqua. So here we go. To answer this, the sister's question, to answer the Aqua's question, right? This is the girl version on how to say, this is my child. All right? Now, here we go. It's za. Za still means this. But yalada is how you would reference to a girl child. When I use a sentence saying yalada, this is how you know that I'm referencing a child, but this is a girl child. All right? This is a girl child. Now, the rule. Now, here's a rule that you guys may or may have not known. Nouns in the Lashawan Qadash, all right? Nouns in the Hebrew, they can either be masculine nouns or they can be feminine nouns. If the noun is masculine, there is a way to make that noun feminine. All right? If that noun is feminine, that noun will sometimes that noun will stay feminine. But there is a way sometimes to turn that noun back to its masculine form. If the original form of that noun is feminine, in most cases, that noun will always be feminine for a reason. All right? Because that's the word itself. Remember, a noun can be a person, place, or thing. All right? A noun can be a person, place, or thing. So these nouns in the Hebrew can either be masculine or feminine of what it is. Does that make sense? Right off the rip, a noun can either be masculine or it could be feminine. All right? either or. All right. Now, for instance, child. Right. This is a noun that can be masculine or feminine depending on how it's written in the Hebrew. Yalad, previously we wrote the word yalad. All right. But now, to make a noun that's masculine, feminine, you would have to add a ha at the end of that word. Everybody understand that? In Hebrew, if you want to make a noun that's masculine, feminine, in most cases, you would add a ha at the end of that word. You would add a ha at the end of that word. That ha at the end of that noun, or the ha at the end of that word, will make that word feminine. Oh, the sister said too slow. Salakia. I'll try to move a little fast. Salakia, I'll move a little quicker. Salakia. All right. So this is how you would do it. Za yaladaya. So yaladaya, right? Yaladaya, meaning my child. I'm still saying the same thing, but this is how you know I'm referring. This is how you know I'm referring to a girl child, right? Yaladaya. Of course, I won't really move too fast. No sweat. I will move at a pace that everybody can follow along at, of course, okay? Now, I know some of y'all are more advanced than me, so I apologize in advance, all right? I know y'all know this Hebrew better than me. Some of y'all should be teaching it than me, but, I'll get there one day like y'all, all right? I'll get there one day, all right? I'll get there one day, just one day, all right? So, Za Yaladaya, all right? Za Yaladaya, meaning this is my child, all right? Yaladaya is still saying my child. But, of course, if you know the Hebrew, right? If you know the Hebrew, you'll know because I say Yaladah. Because I said Yaladah, this is how you know, right? I'm talking about a girl child. So Yaladah. 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 Now, in most cases, you kind of want to get into a habit of pronouncing some of these words just like that. Yalada. Right? You kind of want to slow it down sometimes. Yalada. Yalada. And practice that. Yalada. 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 You want to make it fluent off the tongue. Yalada. 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 This is how you say child, but referring or referencing to a girl child. Yalada. Yalada. So if you want to be like, Yalada, come here. Or Yalad, come here. Right? Depending on what I say, you know that I'm talking either to a boy or to a girl. Like I have a son. Right? Well, I have a girl and two boys. I reference them either as Yalad or Yalada. Right? I say Yalada, come here. Or I say Yalad, come here. Yalada, ba'aka'an. Yalad, ba'aka'an. All I said was, come here. Come here. All right? I said, child, come here. Child, come here. All right? So, za, yaladaya. All right? Okay, do you still have to say the ya after it as well? Okay, no. You don't have to say the ya at the end of it. If you want to, okay, that's more, it's kind of funny how you asked that because it made me think of like a old British thing or old English thing or something like back in the 14 or 1200s. They're like, my child, come here. Like some type thing, right? Like my child. No, you don't have to say, my child, come here. If you want to say, Yaladaya, come here, you would literally be saying, my child, come here. Right? If you want to say, Yaladia, you would be saying, my child, come here, or whatever the case may be. This is just an example to say this is my child, so you know that this child is mine. It belongs to me. It possesses to me. So la'ah, you don't have to put ya at the end of it. All right, you don't have to put ya at the end of it. If you want to, you can. All right. No one's gonna be like, no one's gonna look at you weird. I mean, I wouldn't, because you're just putting emphasis that this child is yours. All right. In my eyes, if you say this is my child or my child come here, I know that you're referring to my child or you're referring to your child. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to add the here, but think about it. Think about it. In every scenario is different. Every situation is different. If there's a group of kids and there's a group of children, right? You might want to put the at the end of it, right? Because you want to make sure you know that you're talking to your child. And you want your child to know, and everybody to know, that you're talking to your child. So you would say Yeladaya, or you would say Yeladia. So everyone knows, and the children know, okay, they're not, she or he is not talking to me, so I'm going to continue playing and continue swinging around and destroying the park, or whatever the case may be. All right? So in some cases, you would want to put the every scenario is different, case by case, whatever the case may be. Remember, this is building sentences. Remember, when you build a sentence, it's always based off the scenario, the situation. There's a subject, there's an object, and there could be a possession. All right? Everybody makes sense? It's starting to make sense, right? In sentences, there's a subject, there's an object, there can be a possession. All right? No sweat to it, all right? So that's just an example of how you would use ya. All right? Okay, now, all right, everybody gets this. I'm sure y'all get it. So you can put this sentence in your notes, by the way. All right, I'm going to continue on to get more possessive pronouns, right? But that was just an example, all right? That was just an example of how to build a basic sentence. Now, that was a sentence being built basically using possessive pronouns. All right? Learning possessive pronouns is very good to learn, by the way, because you can make a lot of sentences very easily and answer brothers and sisters very easily, right? Just by knowing possessive pronouns and some noun or some word in Hebrew. All right? Very easy. Very, very easy. All right? All right. Next on the board, we have the possessive pronoun your. All right, your. This is the possessive pronoun your in Hebrew. So your is a possessive pronoun. Ka is how you would pronounce this possessive pronoun. Ka. It's like not ka, but ka. Ka. This is how you would use and say this possessive pronoun. All right? This is ka written in the Paleo. Well, I'm going to say ancient in this case. So this is ka used in the ancient. This is the ka being written or used in the modern script. Ancient script, modern script. Ancient script, modern script. Paleo script, Assyrian script. Ancient, modern, Paleo, Assyrian. Ka, they're still pronounced the same. No difference is made. It's still pronounced as ka. It's still pronounced as ka. Ka, 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 which means your in the possessive. In the English. Alright? It means your. Alright? What's like it means your in the Hebrew. Ka means your in the Hebrew. When it's attached to a noun, when it's attached to the back or at the end of a noun, ka means your. I have to say that. Alright? Because there is a ka that's attached in front of a word that means like or as. Alright? Or being similar to. Alright? So we don't want any confusion, right? We don't want to be confused. So ka means your when it's attached to a noun, right, at the end of it or in the back of it. Alright? Alright, everybody understands? Ka means your. Ka means your. Alright? So ka means your. So just like the example that we used for my is the very same example that you can use. Alright? Okay, Salakia already confused. Okay, Salakia. Alright. Salakia, what will you be confused about? Let me know. Okay. Are you confused? Okay. Okay, Salakia, are you confused of where the ka would be and what the difference it'll make? I'll show you on the board if that's the case. Let me know. Is that what you're confused about? The ka. On what's the difference between the ka in front of the noun and what's the difference between the ka at the back of the noun? Is that what you're confused on? If that is, say Khan or La'ah, or just let me know where your confusion is and I'll write it on the board. Okay, here we go. I'll give you an example. All right. Okay, here we go. All right. All right. Can everybody see the board? Con or la? Perfect. Okay. So, the Akwaf had a very good question. And there's nothing wrong with being confused, all right? If you are ever confused in my class, please let me know where you're confused at, and I will fix that confusion as easily as I can, all right? Sometimes, depending on the lesson, it might be kind of difficult to explain because I would probably have a lot to write and a lot to say, all right? But this right here is kind of easy. Now we know that ka is the possessive pronoun for your. So here's a sentence helping the sister understand the ka that goes in front of a noun and the difference between the ka that goes at the end or the back of the noun. Here it is. This sentence, za kayaladka. So, za kayaladka. Za kayaladka. Za kayaladka. So, za kayaladka literally translates to, this is like your child. So, if I'm saying, hey, this is like your child, right? I would say, hey, za kayaladka. This is like your child, right? Za is this. This is implied. There is no Hebrew word for is. It's implied. All right? It's implied. This is implied. Like a ka in front of a noun. So the noun in this sentence is yalad. Yalad is the noun. The yalad is either the person, place, or thing, right? So this is yalad. Yalad is the noun. The ka that's in front of the noun means like. All right? Means like. It can even mean, it could also mean as. So the ka that goes in front of the noun yalad could either mean like or as. So when we use words like or as, the word that should come to mind is what? Meaning similar, like a simile. Similar, right? Meaning there's something that's the same, right? So when we use the word like or as in this context, all right? When we're using the word like or as in this context, meaning something that's the same, something that is similar, right? You would use ka, and that ka goes in front of the noun. That ka goes in front of the noun. All right? That ka goes in front of the noun. It will always go in front of the noun. Where have we seen this before? Where have we seen this before? Can anybody remember, where have we heard something like this before? Well, actually, you know what? I take that back. I don't want to confuse you again. All right? But, Salakia, I'm not going to go any further because I don't want to confuse you. Salakia. But we may have heard this before, all right? But you're learning it now, all right? This is one of the ways, all right? One of the ways, okay, one of the ways that we may have heard this before, which is ka. All right, the ka in front of the noun yalad, meaning like or as. Like or as. Now remember, this like or as is referring to something that is similar or something that is the same. Something that is similar, something that is the same. Okay, perfect. You understand now, okay? Now, of course, there is a word, it's like it. There is a verb, right? To like something, right? To like something, all right? There is a verb for it. There's an actual word for it, all right? But do not confuse that for that. Don't confuse the two, because there's an actual word for the word to like something, because it's a verb. So there's an actual word for it. So that's what I also want to add. Don't allow that to confuse you. So if I ever ask you guys down the line, what's the verb to like, you know not to use ka. All right? Don't use ka. All right? Don't use ka. I'll probably get mad at you. All right? Now, if I ask you what's the word that's attached to a noun in front of a noun, that means as or like, and you say ka, I'll be very happy. So yaladka. So za ka yaladka. This ka, right, means your. Yalad meaning child, referencing to a boy child. Za ka yaladka. Alright, za ka yaladka. Salaki. I think I said lad. Salaki. I said za ladka. Alright. Even though I'm actually not wrong, by the way. But that's a little more later down the line, when we all get a little more advanced together on when we can start using contractions. Alright? Do you guys remember in school? Do you guys remember in middle school and high school or in elementary, where your English teacher would teach you how to say it fully, and then later on in English classes you would be allowed to use contractions? Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. All right, there is a way to contract the word yalad. You just take away the ya, and lad still means child. So if I actually said za kaladka, I'm still saying za ka yaladka, meaning this is like your child. I'm still saying the same thing. But of course, because we're just learning the Hebrew language, you don't want to start using contractions right away. You don't want to start taking things away unless in a situation where it's very easily understood, you can. Okay? So there are contractions in the Lashawan Qadash. You will learn that sooner than later, really, because if you actually read the Hebrew, you will see some of these contractions, and it's going to confuse you at times, because you're wondering, I know this verb, I know this word, right? I know this word, I know this verb, I know this noun, but it's not being spelled as this noun. It's not being spelled as this verb. It's because it's contracted, okay? Or it could be conjugated, either or. All right? I say, right, I've been making up my own words. Khan, I definitely understand. I used to be the same way until I started to get really into studying the Hebrew and studying the Lashawan Qadash and getting into the specifics and getting into like grammar and things like that. That's when I started that. I was like, holy crap, allow me to actually break these words down and actually differentiate nouns from verbs and certain contractions and etc., and all of that. But we'll get there. All right? Trust me. Trust me. I'll do the hard work and we'll all learn the easy stuff. How's that? All right, so don't even sweat it. Don't even sweat it. All right, but now I'm not telling you guys not to do the hard work. If you guys want to do the hard work and actually like get down there yourself and do the nitty gritty, I can give you guys some books. All right, and tell you guys these are the books you want to order, and we'll get right on to it. You know what I'm saying? We'll get right to it. All right. So, all right, let's get back to it. So this is just an example of how to say this is like your child. All right. Zakaladka. All right. Zakaladka. I almost did it again. Zakaladka. Zakaladka. Meaning this is like your child. All right. No sweat, Uncle. You can do the hard work. No sweat. No sweat. So now, okay, so this is, I'll give you guys some books, all right? There's 2 books, all right, for any brother and sister that would like to learn the Lashawan Qadash, okay? I think I may have said this one of these classes beforehand, but I'll show you guys, okay? So I have 2 main books in my hand that we use in the UPK, all right? We have this book right here. If anybody can see it, it's called the Biblical Hebrew, a text and workbook, all right? This is a very good book to learn. So when you start reading the Lashawan Qadash, right, and you start writing the Lashawan Qadash, this is a very good workbook to use. This is a very good book to study out of to learn the Lashawan Qadash, okay? All right? Very good book. This is the book that I use all the time, all right? I use it all the time. So when you don't see me teaching class, all right, I'm eating my cereal or I'm eating my food and that book is open, all right? While my kids are jumping on my back. Now, this right here, all right, is another good book to use, right? This is a concise lexicon to the biblical languages. Literally what it says. So, this is in the Hebrew and the Greek. So, you want to know what a Greek word is, right, when you're reading the New Testament, because the New Testament is written in Greek, you can go ahead and look into this book. If you want to know what a Hebrew word is when you're reading the Old Testament, because the Old Testament is written in Hebrew, right? Not saying the New Testament isn't, all right? But the Old Testament is written in Hebrew. You can look for these words. Now, this book is really bought for the Greek and not so much the Hebrew. And here's why. Because technology has advanced over the years, some of these things you can just Google, all right? There's a website called 2-Letter Lookup. If you don't know the word, but you see the word in Hebrew, just click in the first 2 letters of that word, right? And just type it in, and then this will literally pop up, but online, all right? And it'll give you like a whole list of words on the first 2 letters that you type in. It's called 2letterlookup.com, all right? Something to look into. Can you get on Amazon? Yes, you can. You can buy this on Amazon. A lot of the books I have are from Amazon. In some cases, depending on the book, it may not be on Amazon. You might have to eBay it depending on the book. But those 2 books, if I'm not mistaken, I definitely got them on Amazon, all right? I definitely got them on Amazon. All right? All right. Let's get it. So that was just an example. Zakayaladka. All right? Meaning this is like your child. All right? All right. Here we go. All right. Same thing. All right. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to just get the example on the board so there's no confusion. All right. I'm going to get the example on the board so there's no confusion. All right. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to give you guys an example on the board so there's no confusion. All right. Can everybody see what's on the board? Double check. Perfect. There's like a little bit of a glare. All right. Let me see if I can fix that glare for y'all real quick. All right. Everybody can still see the board, right? Think so. Okay, yeah, I think that glare is gone. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. No sweat. All right. So, what we have on the board is another possessive pronoun. This is the possessive pronoun wa. All right. This is the possessive pronoun wa. All right. So this is your wa in the paleo. This is your wa. Well, let me get a little bit cut off there. So this is your wa in the paleo. This is your wa in the Assyrian. This is your wa in the ancient. This is your wa in the modern. Paleo script, Assyrian script. All right, ancient script, modern script. This is the letter wa. Wa. Right here. Wa. Which is the possessive pronoun for his. Now, okay, now here we go. Same concept. When wa, right? Wa, the possessive pronoun is wa. So wa is the possessive pronoun his. Alright? Alright? Wa in the Hebrew is a possessive pronoun for his. Alright? Alright? Now, for it to be a possessive pronoun, it has to be at the end of a noun. So when a wa is located at the end of a noun, right? When a wa is attached and located at the end of a noun, right? It is known to be a possessive pronoun. So when a wa is attached and located at the end or the back of a noun, it is known as a possessive pronoun. But when a wa is attached and in front of a word or a noun, it means and. It means and. Everybody understands? Kan or la'a. So this says, waza yaladwa. And this is his child. Waza yaladwa. Waza yaladwa. Waza yaladwa. Waza yaladwa. Meaning, and this is his child. Does everybody understand? Kan or la'a. Let me know. Does everybody get it? Kan or la'a? Just let me know. Now, alright? So when a wa is in front of a noun, it means and. But when a wa is in the back of a noun, it means his. So waza yaladwa. Waza yaladwa. Waza yaladwa. Meaning, and this is my child. Salaki. And this is his child. Salaki, I said that incorrectly. And this is his child. Waza yaladwa. Waza yaladwa. Waza yaladwa. Meaning, and this is his child. Alright? This is an example of how you would use the possessive pronoun wa. And you also learned that when wa is in front of a word, right, it means and. So when you see wa and is located in front of a word, it means and. When you see wa located in the back or at the end of a word, and it has to be a noun, it's a possessive pronoun, meaning his. Alright? Waza yaladwa. Waza yaladwa. Meaning, and this is his child. Waza yaladwa. Waza yaladwa. Waza yaladwa. Alright? Waza yaladwa. Waza yaladwa. Waza yaladwa. Waza yaladwa. Waza yaladwa. Waza yaladwa. There you go. Alright? Let's get it. Alright? There's more possessive pronouns. I'm going to erase these three and try to fit maybe one or two more before class ends. Alright, so now what we have on the board is another possessive pronoun. which is her, meaning her. Another possessive pronoun meaning, her, or her, which means her, which means her. Her is a possessive pronoun. Alright? Ha. This is your ha in the paleo. This is your ha in the Syriac. Your ha in the ancient. Your ha, right, in the modern. Ha, which means her. Ha, which means her. Alright? Alright. So, let's get an example on the board. Alright? There we go. Alright, so here's an example. Alright, of the possessive pronoun her being used in a sentence. Alright, so her in the Hebrew is ha. So when ha is used, when ha is attached and used at the end, or when it's located and attached at the end or the back of a word or a noun, it is known as a possessive pronoun. But when ha is located and attached in front of a word or a noun, it means the. So what we have on the board is ha yaladha. Ha yaladha, meaning the child is hers. So ha yaladha. Now yaladha by itself could mean her child, right? But because we want to say the child is hers, we can still put ha at the end of yalad, but the is implied. Now, of course, this depends on the context of the sentence, all right? This all depends on the context of the sentence. Now, of course, if the ha wasn't there, 9 times out of 10, I'm just saying to you, her child. But because the her is in front of the yalad, 9 times out of 10, I'm saying the child is such and such. Alright? I'm giving ownership to something. Alright? Her yalad her. Alright? Yalad her. The child is hers. The child is hers. Her yalad her. Ha, meaning the. Because when ha is in front of a word, when ha is attached and located in front of a noun or a word, it means the. Her yalad. Yalad meaning child. Salakia, I did not designate child. Forgive me. Alright. Yalad meaning child. Yalad is child. Yalad is child. Yalad is child. Ha yalad her. The child. Ha yalad her. The child. Ha. Hers or her. The child is hers. Meaning that child is somebody's, specifically hers. Alright? So, ha yalad her. Alright? Ha yalad her. The child is hers. Ha yalad her. The child is hers. Alright? The child is hers. Ha yalad her. The child is hers. Alright? Everybody understands? Kan la'a. This child is hers. The child is hers. The child is hers. Ha yalad her. The child is hers. Ha yalad her. Any questions? Any questions? Khan or la? Yes or no? Any questions? Any questions? Khan or la? All right. No questions? All right. No sweat. All right. All right. So make sure you guys get this on the board. Make sure you guys write this into your notes. All right. Make sure you guys get this into your notes. All right. So we're pretty much caught up on time. If you are in the state of Virginia, all right, get in contact with our camp leader. There's the Feast of First Fruits. It's on the 20th of June. June 20th is the Feast of First Fruits. All right. It will be held in Norfolk. All right. The Feast of First Fruits will be held in Norfolk. All right. Get in contact with the camp leader of the state of Virginia so you can be able to make it to the Feast of First Fruits. All right. It's in our law to keep the Feast of First Fruits, coming together, eating some lawful food, having a good time, drinking a Hennessy or some gin or whatever the hell it may be, some juice, some wine, whatever it is. We're going to have a good time. All right. The Lord wants us to come together for the Feast of First Fruits. All right. June 20th. All right. Get in contact with the camp leader within the state of Virginia so you can make it to the Feast of First Fruits. There is no excuse to not make it to the feast. All right. I'll tell you I'm gonna be real with y'all. I never made excuse to get some free food. The food is free. All right. It's on the house. We're all coming together. We're making our plates. The food is free. All right. All right. Anyone that comes will get a plate. All right. All right. So I'm just letting y'all know the Feast of First Fruits is June 20th. All right. With that, I say Admadu, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give a quick salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Madam Shabbat, Amadi, Barak, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah Brakatah, Yadim Matah, Sar, Wa'akwakin, which means turn to the sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to give a quick salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Madam Shabbat, Amadi, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah. Yadim Matah. With that, class dismissed.